Look at that AFC game between the Dolphins and the Patriots.
Well, you know, I think the New England's going to have to outscore the Dolphins. They're going to have to score 30 points, 28 at the least. If they can do that, they can beat the Dolphins because they got to give up some points. Miami, I'm not sure, is quite as dominant as we're looking at out here at Soldier Field with the Bears today.
All right, Bud and Tony, I want to show the one moment of controversy involving an official's call or perhaps a non-call in the first half. Here comes Michael Young of the Rams. Mike Richardson is the cornerback. Now, Buddy is bumped once. What's the rule regarding coverage now?
Well, you cannot touch that receiver downfield unless you're going for the ball and it's incidental. He kind of looks up there, but I think the official is watching the out-of-bounds feet and rather than the hands. Right there, you see the push-off. He actually pushed him out of bounds, and I think, obviously, that's a penalty to all of us. The official may have been watching the out-of-bounds closer than they were watching the arms.
Well, Irv Cross has spoken to Michael Young on the way to the locker room, and Irv, what did he tell you about the contact on that play?
You know, Brent, Michael was kind of low-keyed about it. He didn't want to, you know, put a blame on anybody. He said he felt pressure. He felt he was pushed out of bounds. He said, but gee whiz, Irv, I never should have put myself in that kind of position because really when defensive backs get a receiver near the sideline, they will kind of nudge him out if they could, if all possible.
We know he used to do that, Irv Cross. All right, we're going to come back and take a look at the scoring play and some of the highlights for the first half when we continue after these messages from your local stations. Then touchdown scored in the game, that by Bear quarterback Jim McMahon. One thing is sure, McMahon is great television, isn't he? And Tony Dorsett, what do you think of him as a competitor?
Well, he's probably one of the toughest competitors in the National Football League right now. He's a quarterback with somewhat of an unusual personality. But for him to take control there in the first series and go in and score a touchdown, no doubt was a big confidence builder for himself.
Bud, what'd you think about his score here?
I think he's the dominant player in the first half. There's no question about it. His running, his handling of the team, his throwing the ball, playing in this weather, he's the outstanding player of the first half.
Now, defensively, I thought there was a big moment, but it was 3rd and 1. You knew the Rams were going to come with Eric Dickerson. What happened? Didn't they block everybody?
Well, you don't block Singletary on the Bears defense. The one thing they try to do, and you see right here, Singletary come up, meeting Dickerson, holding him away from the first down. He's their dominant player defensively, and their defenses are set up so that you can't block Singletary.
Now, by moving Fensick up so often, aren't they vulnerable to the long pass?
Well, they were, and you notice the Rams went to an audible, tried to get the ball down the middle, didn't get it on target, however. The Bears tease you a little bit with that, too. You'll see them line up there, then they'll jump one of their safeties back.
All right, Tony, let's take a look at that last play again in the closing moments of the first half, and what should they have done here?
I think they should have been in like a 2-minute offense. They should have had a hurry-up offense formation so they could have either got to the line, called a play quick, or thrown out of bounds. Or I'm surprised they didn't even call a timeout either.
All right, well, let's go to Irv Cross. He's been down getting some reaction from the Bears. Irv?
There's a lot of reaction down there, a little confusion right now. The Bears are going out to the field, and the Ram coach just walked across the front of Brent. But, you know, the Bears along the sidelines were amazed that the Rams didn't stop the clock. They had one timeout, at least one timeout, going into that series. Could have stopped the clock, set up for a field goal. Of course, they felt they dodged a bullet not having that field goal go on the scoreboard. 30 minutes left for the next championship. They're looking forward to it. Brent.
All right, Irv, thank you. And, of course, Bud Grant and Tony Dorsett will be along on our post-game show. And right now, let's go upstairs to Pat Summerall. Pat?
All right, Brent, thank you very much. Who would have thought until the last seconds of the first half that Jim McMahon would have more rushing yards than Eric Dickerson? As you said, he's certainly been the dominant player so far in this game. John Madden's moved over to the chalkboard. You remember that McMahon scrambled for the first touchdown, the only touchdown, in fact. Let's go take a look with John as to how it was accomplished.
Well, what happens with McMahon, he's always going to come back, and then he's looking for a receiver. But if he doesn't see it and he gets any kind of lane, he's going to run in that lane. Now watch what happens here. We see the motion. McMahon comes back. The Rams get caught in there. Right here now he sees a lane. You see here, this is a lane that McMahon sees. So he's going to start in here. That's what the Rams can't give him the rest of this game. You see, now he gets in there, he gets a hole, he picks up a blocker in Dennis Gentry, gets a block on Johnny Johnson, and McMahon dives into the end zone. So I think after that one, that was a big one. Then they gave him a couple others. But I think they finally get it straightened out. What we get is an outside rush here. The nose tackle goes this way. Now on this play, the lane for McMahon is going to be here. Now watch how it happens. See, he's going to start back to pass. The nose tackle goes right. The end and linebacker outside. Right here we stop. We see he has a lane. right here, the lane that is caused here. Now he takes over the ball. This time, he's going to dive feet first, for about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 yards. But I think the Rams have to clog up those lanes or holes, or have someone spy and fill those lanes.
Both teams back on the field. The Bears leading 10-0 at the half of the NFC Championship game. The winner to the Super Bowl.
Congress suggests these books. The New Thinking Man's Guide to Professional Football by Paul Zimmerman. What a Game They Played by Richard Whittenham. These and other interesting books are waiting for you at your local libraries and bookstores. Visit them, and they'll be happy to help you read more about it.
Ready to go with the second half, but before, let's go back and look at the end of the first half.
You know, I don't think it was not taking a timeout. I think it was this time here. See, it was 30 when the ball was down. Now they're taking the time to huddle up. Now they're taking off. This is where I think they lost it there. They didn't need to huddle up. They should have been on the line of scrimmage. They can save their timeout. But look, it started at 30. It's all the way down to 12, 11, and the ball isn't even snapped yet. The ball doesn't get snapped until 5. You see, and that's what cost them. Not the play, not taking the timeout. I think what cost them was huddling up.
It could turn out to cost them dearly. The Bears lead 10-0. Lansford set to kick it off in the direction of Willie Gault and Dennis Gentry, both of whom are explosive. Funny-looking kick in the direction of Gentry. Handles it at the 1. Is down at about the 23 in the arms of Vince Newsom, and a fight breaks out immediately. I don't suppose you could really call it a fight.
Well, it's not over yet. May turn into one.
A lot of pushing and shoving and perhaps even some profanity. Calvin Thomas was the Bear involved, and Sean Miller was the Ram involved.
And the two guys walking off there.
First down, Bears, their own 24. They lead it 10-0. Rams had 68 yards total offense in the first half. The Bears 152. I didn't hear what Jim Tunney, the official, said just now, but the things have been held up for just a minute. Not sure the 30-second clock is working. And that is the problem. It is not working.
Maybe it froze. Things, you know, the wind gets to it, the cold weather gets to it, things just go boom, and they have what they call power pops.
The chill factor got to it. McMahon coming out throwing as he began the game. Complete to Moorhead, as he did to begin the game. Collins on the stop, a gain of 8. The Bears are 22-1 since 1984 when they were leading at the halftime. There was one exception to that.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that, the one was the Rams. The only time out of those 23 games that they've led at halftime and lost to the Rams.
That was last year in Anaheim. Back to Payton. Payton fumbles, goes out of bounds. It'll belong to the Bears. He's the last man who had possession. He picked up 8.
Hey, some strange things have happened to Walter Payton. This hasn't been one of his better days. He's had a little luck with him, but that's the second time that he's fumbled. We remember he dropped a pass early. I think Walter Payton, and for all his years of experience, he's still a little jittery over all this stuff. He said he was so excited this week that he couldn't even sit down or anything. He was just going to run in place all week.
Only he could do that. McMahon to throw on first down again. Puts it out to Payton. No drop this time. Collins tripped him up. A gain of 6. Bears took the opening kickoff, and McMahon scrambled in for a touchdown. Then they got a field goal by Butler, and since then, that Ram defense has put a clamp on them.
That's what I think. I think at that point, the Rams kind of took over. I think they were a little unsettled. The Bears had things going early, and the Rams, about that point, after that second score, they kind of took and got the control back.
Suey this time. About 2 short of the first down. Here's Dieter Brock over in the Ram bench, loosening up.
Well, you know, he has that glove on the left hand. He tore a tendon in his ring finger on the left hand last week. Luckily, of course, he doesn't throw with that hand, nor does he take the ball. He puts, when he gets the snap from the center, his right hand is the top hand, and that takes the pressure of it.
Ball was placed by the official, and then it was blown away.
Well, the wind almost gained a first down for the Bears. Almost blew it. It did blow it to a first down.
And they were still in the huddle. They need a yard and a half, and they give it to Suey. He won't get it. Reggie Doss was the first man there. DeJournay comes to join him.
I'll tell you, DeJournay is the guy that called that play. Watch him on Hilgenberg here, number 70. You see, he takes Hilgenberg. He gets penetration right there. Now, he gets Suey at first. He slows him up, and then Reggie Doss is coming in from the outside. But Charles DeJournay, the nose tackle, got penetration. Anytime you run against a 3-man line, you got to get the nose tackle. If you stop the run, it's usually the nose tackle somehow involved.
DeJournay is a man who played in the World Football League. Johnny Johnson back deep along with Leroy Irvin.
I remember when DeJournay was at San Jose State. I remember when he was with the San Diego Chargers.
Buford gets off a good kick. Johnson lets it bounce, and it goes out of bounds at about the 23. And again, there's a little pushing and shoving between Vince Evans and Tim Reitman. The punt, Vince Newsom involved. They only get 28 yards out of the kick. It looked good in the beginning. There's this year's genius, Buddy Ryan, the defensive coordinator of the Bears. And John, you and I were talking a minute ago. This is our 5th Bear game this year, and we haven't seen anyone score a touchdown against them yet.
Oh, and I think that's the thing. You know, and Buddy Ryan will be the first guy to say, I mean, he has this 46 defense, and it's all this and that, but the guys that make the defense are the guys we're seeing here, the players. I mean, anyone can play 46 and not shut out people the way we've seen. But these guys are good players.
They're tremendous athletes. Brock retreats. Gives it to Dickerson. It's the same play that ended the first half. 6-yard gain. Dickerson, we were talking with him the other day. He said, they don't even throw me the ball. They don't have any patterns.
He said for this game, he doesn't have any pass patterns. He was probably just like a fourth dairy guy. You know, that was faking or supposed to be around there. I think he caught that with one hand, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Probably that scuba sleeve he has on got it.
Second and 4.
To the scuba sleeve, I think.
They've kept him under control, however. Dickerson got a good block. It's for Eller. And it's out of bounds. Dickerson got a good pickup.
I'll tell you, it was against Richard Dent, too. You know, he wasn't blocking a defensive back or a linebacker. Watch 95. There's Richard Dent. He's coming. Then he sees Dickerson. Dickerson, I have to take that guy. Oh, well, I'll tell you, he stayed in there. He squared, bent the knees a little, threw the right elbow at the end.
Hung with him pretty good, didn't he?
He hung in there good. I'll tell you, that had to be a shock to Dickerson. You look, you know, you bend over, square up, knees bent, eyes up, open. Here comes Dent. Whoop.
They need 4 for a first down. Dickerson and Redden in the backfield. Eller in motion. Brock. Incomplete. And now here comes the flag. Richardson grabbed Eller before the ball got there.
And that's going to be against the Bears. That'll give the Rams the ball right there. about the 48-yard line. Watch him right here. We see Mike Richardson. He's grabbing it. He gets his shoulder. He gets that right and left hand on Henry Ellard before the ball gets there. That was right out in front. Everyone saw that one.
That's the Ram first down at the 48. Excuse me, John.
You know what? Mike Richardson's nickname is L.A. L.A. because he's from Southern California. So L.A.'s playing L.A.
Redden and Dickerson. This is Eric Dickerson. He breaks one or two tackles. Ball's on the ground. And Richardson, who was just called, gets the fumble recovery. That's the second one for Dickerson.
I think on that play, Otis Wilson, number 55, stripped Dickerson. Buddy Ryan, the defense coordinator, said, we're going to get 3 fumbles. Watch 55 here. Takes on the guard, Ken Hill. Then he works back. Now watch him come back and watch that right hand go in and knock that ball out. He grabbed that right hand, pulled it into the elbow, and that knocked the ball out of Dickerson. In fact, Otis Wilson told us that he was going to get 3 fumbles. He said Dickerson will fumble 3 times tomorrow.
McMahon back to throw. Fires outside to Payton. Payton gets away from one and then steps out of bounds. It was Wiltshire. Here's Otis Wilson.
He's still celebrating. He said he could tell the guy, you know, I took on the guy. Kent Hill came, he blocked me. I took on him. Dickerson got in. It was that gap play. Worked back in and grabbed his arm.
Now look at the turnover ratio. Plus 23 in their 12 wins. Minus 8 in their 5 losses. You could do that to just about any team. McMahon back to throw again. Now almost flushed out of the pocket. Had to throw it away. Under heavy pressure again from the Ram rush. Intended for Reitman.
Hey, one thing about this Ram defense is they're always playing a zone. They always have their underneath guys in the right spots, their deep guys in the right spots. And if you're going to hit them, you have to be right in those lanes and areas. You're not going to have guys running wide open against this Ram defense.
They have their pass rush group in there. The Bears have Marjoram in now as a wide receiver. And McKinnon is out. That's Gentry in motion. McMahon with a blitz coming, completes it to Gault. And that'll be enough for a Bear first down. McMahon is down. Slow getting up at least.
I'll tell you, he threw that right between Leroy Irvin and Vince Newsom. McMahon still has bad knees, you know, and every time he goes down, I'm sure that everyone's thinking about that. I mean, he's had shoulder injuries and kidney injuries and everything, but he still has bad knees. But watch this zip. 2 defenders. There's Irvin, there's Newsom, and he hit that ball zoom right between those 2 guys. And look what Collins does to him after he throws the ball. Boy, that jiggled that whole body. I mean, that put that spine in a different area.
It's one you'll remember. He gives it back to Payton. Payton's going to be trapped for a loss and out of bounds. Leroy Irvin. But the Ram defense was right there. A loss of 4.
That's the thing with a defense or a defensive coach. You know, when you have a guy doubled and you have him inside out and the quarterback still gets that ball in there, you wonder, what do you have to do?
Clock is stopped with 9:32 left to play in the 3rd quarter. By the way, the 30-second clock now is operating. It's been fixed. There she goes. Marjoram split wide to the right. Suey said something to Payton that made him move. The pitch is back to Suey, and he does not very much. There wasn't much there. Vince Newsom. And the pushing and shoving continues.
Just about every play we're getting something going here now. There's Dennis McKinnon going in. It looks like, you know, he's had some knee problems all year, and he only practices 1 or 2 days a week and comes out and plays in a game. But I'll tell you, he's the tough guy of this team. He's the guy that catches all the inside passes. He's the guy that does the blocking for the sweeps. He does things that you don't see wide receivers doing much anymore.
And he enjoys doing it. 3rd and 13.
And his coach, Mike Ditka, enjoys talking about it.
Marjoram in motion. Handoff. Up the middle is Suey. Gentry, I beg your pardon. Suey was out. There was Gentry who picked up the 8 yards. This might be close enough for Butler.
What they're trying to do is make them think pass and then pop that trap in there to Gentry. This is a big decision now for Mike Ditka. It's 4th down. Do you go for the field goal? It'd be a 52-yard field goal. Do you punt or do you go for it on 4th down? They're going for it on 4th down.
4th and 6.
See what John Robinson is yelling to his defense. Watch out for him with that cadence to try and draw you off sides. McMahon says, I don't think we fooled him. We better take time out and talk this one over because we're 4th and 6, and that 30-second clock was down to 3.
On the field. So, 7:55 remain in the 3rd quarter. Head coach of the Bears, Mike Ditka, 4th year, 2nd consecutive year in the playoffs. Tell me a little bit about his thinking here.
Well, I know what he's thinking. You know, if you punt the ball and it goes into the end zone, they get it on the 20, you only picked up 15 yards. The field goal is 52 yards with a funny wind. You may as well take a shot at it. Your defense is playing well.
They need 6 at least. They put Payton in motion. McMahon on a sprint out. And he can do it. They got Payton. And they got the 1st down. The gamble paid off. A gain of 13. They only needed 6.
Hey, that's not a bad combination. You know, letting your quarterback take the ball, let him sprint out here, have blockers out in front of him. Now he can run or he can find someone open. Who does he find open but Walter Payton, who knew exactly where the 1st down marker was, got up beyond it, so when McMahon did see him and hit him, he had the 1st down.
1st and 10, Bears from the Ram 22. 7:47 left in the 3rd quarter. Here's Payton, hit behind the line of scrimmage by Reggie Doss and Mike Wilcher for a loss. Here's Kevin Butler, rookie from Georgia, loosening up.
He's wearing Fensick's jacket. Fensick's probably looking around. Where's my jacket? The kicker got your jacket. You know, Reggie Doss has done a good job today in that run.
He sure has. The Ram defense has done a good job.
Really have. They've been very, very solid. They need a big play or a break from their offense.
McMahon again sprints out. Throws for Gault, touchdown. What a great throw from McMahon. Touchdown pass of 22 yards. What a throw from Jim McMahon.
And remember, it all went with Mike Ditka's decision to go for it on 4th down. He could have gone for the field goal. He could have gone for the punt. He said, baloney. Let's get that 1st down. Now we go for the shot of the touchdown. We can put him away right here.
Fuller holding. Butler for the extra point. Bears move in front 17-0.
That was a good pass pattern down there by Willie Gault. He ran what we call a post corner. He starts into the post, then he goes back out to the corner as McMahon rolls. McMahon rolls left as the blockers. What a shot he put in there to Willie Gault. And running to his left and throwing on the left to his run. Let's watch it here. Here's Willie Gault here. He's going to start up, start in, and back here. McMahon gets the ball, comes out here on the run, hits him right here. Now watch Gault. You see the motion come out here. Gault starts in. See him come in there. Then he goes back out to the corner. McMahon reads him all the way and zips that touchdown to him. Now what does he do? Shake. Oh, boy. Doink. Give me a one right in the head there. I love it. Who says you can't celebrate?
This crowd doesn't know that. The Bears pitching another shutout. 6:56 left in the third quarter as Butler kicks off. That's Ron Brown, a yard deep in the end zone. And now around to the outside. And with that great speed, Brown stays on his feet and spins outside the 40 to the 42 before Jim Morrissey brings him down. A 45-yard kickoff return by Ron Brown.
Tell you, Willie Gault was the safety man. He was the guy that was supposed to tackle Ron Brown if he breaks away. Gault was waiting. He was one man away from it, and he finally got blocked. Watch Gault. He's staying there. He's saying, where is he? Where is he? And Norwood Van, number 51, is going to come in. Watch him take Gault. Takes him right out of bounds. Gault gets in a reversal. Says, hey, I'm an offensive guy. Hey, I run fast. I don't fight.
What do you want me to do?
I'll race the guy to the end zone.
Brock retreats. Ooh, Henry Ellard makes the reception. And Wilber Marshall put a hat on him. A heavy hat.
Yeah, they're going to be barking like dogs out there. Let's listen to that one again.
That hurt up here. Brock gives to Dickerson. Dickerson whirls to the outside and picks up a first down at the Bear 45. Singletary after a gain of 6.
I'm sure he wanted to go for that fourth down play, and I'm sure he wanted to throw that ball in the end zone, and I'm sure he wanted to wear that headband again this week. Last week, he got a letter from the league office that he couldn't wear it, so he wore it. This week, they got another he couldn't do it, so he wore it again. He just changed what was on the front of it.
Here's Dieter Brock with time. Pass is picked off by Leslie Frazier. Frazier with the interception. Intended for Ellard. Some sort of a discussion, but it's Bears ball.
No foul on the play.
No foul.
No foul.
Leslie Frazier looked like he was there all the way and comes underneath for the interception. Watch him. He's on Duckworth there. He's running now. Instead of following behind him, look, he takes the interception angle all the way. He got underneath Duckworth, then he was running with him, and he got the reception. The interception. I'll tell you, there's a guy, I think he's one of the reasons for the success of this Bear defense.
Well, you have to have good cornerbacks in order to be able to play that defense.
Well, you leave them out there naked on an island by themselves, those two corners, and if they can't cover man-to-man, you can't play that defense.
McKinnon is back, by the way. He had a bruised leg, but apparently it's okay. Here's Suey straight ahead. Collins on the stop after a gain of 6. Look at that. Think they don't play tough in the second half?
Well, you know, maybe they're the ones that wear you down. I know the Rams thought that they would be able to come in and run and wear this Bear defense down.
Well, they got 2 today.
Otis Wilson there, he's talking about New Orleans already. They got some work here to do before they go down there.
4:40 left in the third quarter. McMahon back to Payton. And Payton is stopped before he gets back to the line of scrimmage by Doug Reed. Refrigerator's ordering some more supplies.
What he's doing, yeah, he's saying for the post game, look, when that game's over, I want a good supply in there. We got to refuel this thing. What would the refrigerator be talking about on the phone? I mean, usually they talk about coverages, adjustments. That's Steve McMichael talking to him now. Maybe they're talking about offense. If they get down there, they're going to put him in on the goal line package.
Both of them?
Both refrigerators, you mean?
McMichael.
Oh, no, not McMichael.
It's third down. McMahon operates out of the spread. Chased by Peter. Pass is incomplete. No flags, not yet. Emery Moorhead was the intended receiver. Vince Newsom was the Ram defender.
I still say that this Ram team has played very good defense today, but they just can't get a play. They just can't get anything going. Because they've gotten the ball. The defense has gotten the ball back for the offense. They've done some things for them, and they just can't take advantage of it. But as you say, of all the games we've done, we've never seen a team score a touchdown against the Bears. So that's not easy.
We saw the Jets get 2 field goals, but no one else. And no one's gotten in the end zone. Irvin and Johnson back deep. There's your penalty marker. Gentry on the stop.
That flag looked like it came right off the Bears bench or the sideline. Wilber Marshall was running in with the flag. This Bear defense is so excited, can't wait to get out in the field. They're running in before the return's finished.
Buddy Ryan looking on.
Illegal block, number 33, on the return, 10 yards, first down.
Yeah, that was number 33 is Charles White. He's there on Sean Gale, 23. You see Gale has the position on him, and he can't block him anywhere else, so he just gets that push in the back.
3:40 remaining, third quarter, and the Bears on top 17-0. Pat Summerall, John Madden at Soldier Field, Chicago. The Bears lead at 17-0. Look what they've done in the second half this year. Here at home, 122-19. They've held Eric Dickerson to just 44 yards rushing in 15 carries. Brock back over the head of Tony Hunter. Well over the head.
The refrigerator was close to Brock on that one. The Bears used a different defense there, Pat. They had all 3 of their linebackers right in the middle behind McMichael and Fridge. Maybe that's what they were telling Perry on the phone. They were saying, look, when you see all those guys behind you, don't worry, that's what we're doing. We've got a whole bunch of guys right behind you.
Second and 10 Rams, their own 23. Brock is back again. Richard Dent, Dan Hampton. Brock started a step up. Came down in the arms of Dan Hampton. That's the Bears' first sack of the day.
Yeah, Dan Hampton comes on a stunt. You'll see McMichael here work out. Here's Hampton right here. He crosses, comes in right here, works through a bunch of blockers in here, and then gets to him. Watch him, 99. McMichael's comes, see, loops around. Now he comes up. There's 1 blocker, 2 blockers, works right through him, throws Hera aside, and sacks Dieter Brock. He had to go through a lot of guys to get there.
A hard work at sack. Brock out of the pocket. Finally throws it over the head of David Hill. And And the Rams once again will have to punt.
Gets its engines going, they can rev them up full speed. They got them revved now.
When they get going, they're pretty tough to stop. Hatcher back to punt, standing at his own 4. Or to go. Back deep for the Bears. Good kick. Or to go is hammered at about the 37-yard line by Norwood Van. 48-yard kick by Hatcher. Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. Good kick. 17-0. Soldier Field, Chicago. The Bears lead the Rams 17-0 for the NFC Championship. Their last championship, 1963, at Wrigley Field.
You know, when you talk to the Bears and their coaches, they all say it goes back to last year, that this thing all started a year ago this time when they lost to the 49ers in San Francisco. They got so close they didn't get it. They realized what it was all about, and that loss made this year.
McMahon on a quick count. Coming out of the pocket. And scampers out of bounds.
McMahon carried.
Picked up 3 before he went out of bounds. Couldn't find anybody open.
I think what he's doing is laughing at his own decisions. He made about 3 or 4 of them there. He was going to pass. Watch Mark Bortz come out and block Mike Wilcher, number 54. Watch him see. He makes that block. He takes Wilcher out of there. Now that opens a lane. Now McMahon says, I'm going to throw. Nope, I'll run. No, I'll throw. No, I'll throw. No, I'll run. No, well, I'll go out of bounds. He made about 4 or 5 decisions there.
Calvin Thomas has replaced Suey. That's McKinnon, motion man. This is Payton. Payton stopped by Jim Collins after a pickup of about 3. Given 4. About 2 shy of the first down.
You talk about a guy that, you know, over the years has done so many things and worked and been the, I mean, when the Bears have lost, when they've been a bad team, this guy's gaining over 1,000 yards, he's in Pro Bowls, but never got the one thing that they all want. That's a championship.
They have checked him pretty well today. Figured in a couple of pass receptions. Here's Thomas. And now the Bears will have to punt. Reggie Doss again made the play.
I know what McMahon's thinking there. He's thinking, you know, we ran that roll to the right side on 4th down. We got it. We ran it to the left for a touchdown. Why didn't we run it there on 3rd down and we wouldn't be punting now? I know he's thinking that.
Maury Buford back to punt, and Johnson and Irvin back deep for the Rams. From his 30. That one will stay up there a while. It looks like the wind is, well, it had some effect, but it winds up taking that bare bounce again. Inside the 20. Down by Cliff Thrift. Next Sunday, don't forget the season's premiere of CBS Sports Sunday. And it features the 1985 All-Madden football team in the World Triathlon Championships. All begins at 4:30 Eastern Time here on CBS. John and I will be somewhere to announce his All-Madden team.
The only thing I can guarantee is you won't confuse those two. The guys on the team won't have ever run a triathlon. Because they'd have to go, they run into something before they'd go that far to do any of those other things.
Again, confusion. The Rams center wound up with the ball, and there come the penalty flags.
That was a late flag. That had to be something way after the play.
Defense number 99, 5 yards, still 1st down.
Yeah, but how come the flag came out so late? Encroachment. That's number 99, and that happens well before the play. Now he starts, now he goes. Now the flag comes way late on that one. I mean, encroachment is something you do before the ball's
early. 1st and 5. Rams have the ball their own 23. Less than a minute left, 3rd quarter. Brock back to throw. Going deep for Duckworth. And Frazier almost picked it off.
And Refrigerator almost buried Dieter Brock right here at Soldier Field. Well, I'll tell you, did he get him after he threw the ball? Oh, boy, that is a big load. Watch the Fridge here. He comes in here when Brock throws the ball. He puts him right in on the carpet. Now, that had to be a big deal coming on. You watch him here. He throws it. There's a Refrigerator right there. Now, just him landing at the end on you. I mean, that's right. Yeah, that's like, you know, getting caught under a truck or something.
Who knows how much he weighs? He admits to 308. Here's Barry Redden. First carry for him, and it doesn't get much as Dan Hampton makes the stop. That's the formation they use when they run their option play.
And that was the option play there. That was going to be an option. That's why Redden carried it for the first time. It's set up. We'll see Redden come here with the ball. Now Dickerson is trailing here. Redden's going to try an option right on this guy. If he comes, then he'd pitch. If not, he's going to run it. The end guy here is Otis Wilson. Now watch him. You see the guard pulls. He takes a handoff. Otis Wilson comes right now. Dickerson was behind him. He didn't even have a chance to try and run the option. See Dickerson coming into it.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. No flag. That's just the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Bears 17, the Rams nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station. This 1 quarter to go, with the Bears leading the Rams in the NFC Championship game 17-0. Ram ball their own 25. 3rd and 3. Bears had a blitz going. Pass was intended for Ellard. Brock had no chance to set up. Marshall was coming. William Perry was close.
I'll tell you, he was close. You know, a lot of people think the offensive people say, well, you know, Perry really isn't a good defensive player. He is a good defensive player. He's big. He handles that middle. And as Mike Ditka says, you watch a lot of things happen around him. And they do. He's always getting penetration.
Hatcher standing back at his own 10. Pete Doherty go back at the Bear 40. Go waving, get away from it. It finally bounces out of bounds. Bears take over.
You know what I was talking about, Pat? Watch this. Here's Fred. He's going against Ken Hill here, but watch how he takes it, and he takes a pile and just knocks it back. Then a lot of things can happen on the other side of that. But watch him go as he's here. He has a good take on him a stance. Now watch him just take Hill, just push it. Push, 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 push another guy. Dickerson trying to get him. But see how piles and stuff happen around him. I mean, he gets into that backfield.
Big William Perry, 300 plus.
Yeah, when he gets it going one way, if you're the other way, it's hard to stop it.
He's a good athlete. Reitman in motion, and McMahon gives to Payton, who slips down. Picked up maybe a yard. That was an interesting story. Dale Hatcher, the Ram punter, went to Clemson with William Perry and was telling us what a good diver he is.
Yeah, I guess they have a good swimming and diving team at Clemson, and when Perry would go out to dive, students and people would come from all over to watch him. And he would hit that board and darn near snap it down. Then when he hit the water, it would all come up over him, and people would just marvel. The diving coach said he could have made the team as a diver.
That's right. And he's a good basketball player. Here's McMahon back to throw. Down he goes for the 3rd time of the day by Doug Reed. 14:02 left to play. 1 quarter away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know if McMahon is hurt or not. He's limping around. Maybe that could just be the result of what happens over the years, G&E, but he gets hit. He's trying to spin out. You see, and he gets that left leg twisted. He got up limping. I think he's shaking it off. That's the one that was his bad one. That's the one that he has the big brace on.
Neither one of them, neither knee is really 100% though.
But the left one's his real bad one. He calls that his bionic knee.
Back to throw again. And now he got the screen pass out to Payton. Payton has not much room to roam. Eckern out there along with Leroy Irvin to make the stop. McMahon upset with himself, or perhaps didn't like that selection of plays.
I'll guarantee you that's what it was. He didn't like that play call. And he said, what the heck we calling that for on 3rd and long? Yeah, you know, he and Mike Ditka went for, remember that period of time? Yeah. They went for 1 month and didn't talk to each other. Not a word was exchanged between the two. I'll bet you right now that he's not. See, he goes and talks to guys like linemen, gets close to the heater, talks to Richard Dent, defensive guys.
Line drive kick. Goes out of bounds, and the Rams will take over. But again, they have a long way to go. They'll start from their own 29-yard line. A 47-yard punt by Buford. Ditka says he thinks half of the things that McMahon does are just to aggravate him. 17-0 they lead.
Remember when that hat that he's wearing, I have no idea where he got it, but I think that's an old football helmet. That's the way they used to wear. Remember, they were like leather helmets? And then they would roll them up, put them in their back pockets when they weren't playing. Bill Murray would wear that. He's down there coaching. He's probably taking credit for that call, that touchdown call, that roll left post corner.
Ought to be flying an airplane with 2 wings. Here's Dickerson. There's nothing there for him. He only got a couple of yards. Singletary again, the first man there. He got 3. Fencing with an assist.
Yeah, guys like Bill Murray were Chicago Bear fans for years, you know, when they always had to defend it. I mean, they were Cubs fans and Bear fans, and, oh, you're from Chicago, they laugh at him. Now that they're winning, Bill Murray's out there in the sideline. I wonder how he got down there anyway.
He wore that hat.
I know, the league office won't like that, and they won't like McMahon's headband, but they aren't going to like that either.
2nd and 7 it is. This is Hunter. Moving and Brock back to throw. They get it outside to Hunter, and nobody's even close. Tony Hunter out to about the 47. Dickerson tripped him up after a gain of 15.
I'm surprised Tony Hunter cut back to the inside because there was no one on the outside. He caught the ball. There was no one at all out there, and it looks like he cuts back in. Here he is in motion. When he comes out here, no one covers him, and he turns the ball up. But then he turned it back in. Watch him. He comes in motion, fakes the block, comes out here. There's no one out here at all. Now, why he just didn't stay out here in the sideline? He cut back into double D. David Dickerson.
On 1st down, they pitch back to Dickerson. Dickerson tries to find some room, and there's just nothing there. Otis Wilson chased him out of bounds. They have kept Eric Dickerson, the great Eric Dickerson, under control.
Well, you know, the last 2 times they played, or both times, Eric Dickerson gained over 100 yards on this team. Of course, you know what he did last week, that 248. That's a full day's work. And that's what the Rams had planned to do today. They wanted to do the same type of thing. Carry the ball 40 times, wear them down, wear them down, wear them down. But I think the Bear defense has been doing the wearing down.
11 minutes and 13 seconds left to play. They fake to Dickerson. Throw outside to Brown. And he dropped it. Trying to set up this quick screen to the speed.
That was one of the things the Rams put in for this game, that, you know, the quick screen, the type of stuff that wouldn't be bothered by the wind, where you could get it to your fast guys out in front. Of course, that plan didn't work when you dropped the ball, but the idea was to get the ball out quickly to Ron Brown, get blockers in front of him, and him going down the field.
3rd down and 11.
You know, did you see Perry, though, wearing that bathing suit that those divers wear? Like, Greg Louganis, those little Speedo bikini deals.
Somehow I can't imagine it would be little. Brown in motion. Brock under pressure. Gets away from a couple, but not all. Perry finally gets there. Second sack of Dieter Brock. Again, the Rams will have to punt. Standing back at the 22-yard line. This is the 9th punt. And it goes out of bounds. Beg your pardon, the 7th punt.
You know, we always talk about stunts. Let's watch one. Here's Perry. This is how they got there. He goes first. Hampton, he comes second across. Now, Hampton gets there first. Dieter Brock has to get, and then Perry falls on him. Watch the two guys cross. See Refridge go first. Hampton comes around. Hampton's free. He makes Dieter Brock put the ball down, spin around. Now, here comes the refrigerator and a whole bunch of other guys. Holy moly.
Wilber Marshall, the refrigerator. Full package.
They all met right at number 5.
10:40 left to play. Payton gets the carry. Chase, Leroy Irvin. After a pickup of just a couple. Mike Wilcher.
You know, all the hoopla around this game about the game between, you know, Dickerson on one side, Payton on the other, and the two great running, but really hasn't turned into that.
No, it hasn't. Both of them have been checked.
Both defenses have done a good job at checking them. You know, they both went in. If that's the thing they had to do, they've done that part of it well. I think the difference here is Jim McMahon.
Few snow flurries are starting to appear. And the clock now shows less than 10 minutes. Second down and 9. Meisner, who leaps into the Bear backfield. Flags are down.
Greg Meisner, the nose tackle, he has a call. If he thinks it's pass, he yells turkey, turkey, turkey. Run, he yells rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. He didn't have any calls for when to start the play, though.
He called a rabbit for himself and started to run.
But if he started, Hilgenberg didn't move the ball. He just started. He grabbed McMahon there. McMahon saying, no, no, no. Payton goes over to help McMahon, hold McMahon up and grab Meisner off. I would like to hear that conversation between those three guys.
Perhaps you can see some of those snow flurries, which have just started to appear.
I think it's only fitting. A championship game in Chicago, there should be some snow.
I agree. McMahon back to Payton. He is met right at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a third down situation. Jeter was the first man in white to hit him.
One thing, you know, the Rams really did a good job of shutting down that running game. We see Gary Jeter, he takes an inside rip. He comes inside a covert, rips him with his right hand, and he's the guy that gets the penetration and the first guy there.
This is one of the few places that they cheer bad weather.
Yeah, but it should. I mean, the elements owe it to Chicago to be here today. Snow should be here today. You have to show up.
It's Payton again, and he did not get the first down, and the Bears will have to punt again. They lead 17-0. There is our cameraman on the opposite side of the field.
Hey, he's way up on top. I mean, you talk about elements. There's a man in the elements.
It's our buddy Herman Lang. He spent a lot of years in blimps and stuff like that. It's okay with him. He doesn't care.
Hell, these guys don't either. I think this game has everything. I mean, you know, Chicago and the Bears and Soldier Fields and monsters and big guys and tough and guys in short sleeves and snow and everything. The only thing wrong is it got all that stuff and artificial turf.
Too bad we can't pick the All-Madden team today. Bears batted out of bounds. They were hoping for a roughing the kicker call against the Rams. They didn't get it. Punt was 26 yards. The Rams take over. They just haven't been able to get anything going on offense. 7:51 left to play. The Bears lead it 17-0. There is our location. They're saying the dream is over. The wait is over. The dream came true. And you can see the snow down in front of us. It's not over yet, but there's 7:51 left to play, and the Bears lead it 17-0. Think he knows what the score is? Back goes Dieter Brock under pressure. Intended for Henry Ellard, incomplete. Richardson was with it. Everybody in this crowd just roaring and looking with anticipation. Well, not everybody's roaring.
Or not everybody's looking.
2nd and 10 Rams. They have it at their own 33. It's been a long wait for these Bear fans. Guys like Butkus and Sayers who never made it. This game's for them. That's Barry Redden over the left side. And the guy who just made the tackle went through a lot of years of frustration here, too. Gary Fensick. 8 dark years when there were no playoffs. And he and his buddy Doug Plank, after whom the 46 defense was named.
I'll tell you, there's a real contradiction in Gary Fensick. I mean, here's a guy, you know, smooth, nice guy, good-looking guy, sweet guy, Mr. Clean, graduate of Yale University. But I'll tell you, when you get that, well, he gets that look in his eye, and he's a Jekyll and Hyde. He's a different guy.
Brock has the ball batted straight up in the air. Nobody can see it. Steve McMichael had a shot at it, and he had a touchdown if he had come up with it. They just couldn't find it way up in the air.
Steve McMichael is a guy that's been playing this last part of the season on just guts. Watch him here. He has a bad knee. He's going to have surgery after the season. He has, you know, foreign particles in there. Looks like it hit Dickerson right in the face. Bounced up. McMichael's going to, I got it, dropped it. And his guys are giving, there's Hampton saying, oh, you had it.
Dickerson is back deep for the Bears this time. Going to let Hatcher's punch bounce, and it goes out of bounds at about the 11. And 6:48 now left to play. Don't forget next Saturday an NCAA college doubleheader. Ohio State against Boston College, or Kentucky against the Florida Gators, live at 2 o'clock Eastern time. That's the first game. Then the doubleheader will have Syracuse against Louisville or Arizona against Miami. Check your local listing for the starting time. The snow continues, and the crowd continues to yell, and the Bears lead it. And it looks like they're headed for New Orleans.
I think they head first for Champaign, Illinois. I think they're going to work this first week at the University of Illinois and go down to New Orleans.
Man gives to Payton. Payton finds very little running room. It's been that way all day. The leader of the defense, Samurai, Mike Singletary.
Well, yeah, you're talking about different personalities. He's the same type of guy. You see him off the field. He has the glasses, very articulate, very nice guy, soft-spoken. You see him on the field, he's wild. He's wild.
Got the button-down collar, the tie.
Yeah, he'll wear a striped suit on you.
Carry a briefcase.
Boy, but I'll tell you, he could change from that briefcase to a look in his eye.
2nd and 10 at the 11. And McMahon's going to go to work. He does. Intended for Reitman. Too far in front.
Hey, there's another guy that's having a good game today. Jim Covert, number 74. You know, he's had it every game that we've seen. Last week it was against Leonard Marshall, and he's had it against Jeff Coat. He's had it against all those guys. He's the captain of this Bear offense.
He's another of those that was drafted in 1983.
Yeah, that's quite a tribute, you know, for a guy just to be in his 3rd year, be in the Pro Bowl, and be the captain.
McMahon will operate this time out of the spread. Snowing a little harder. Dennis Gentry was the ball carrier. And now the Bears again will have to punt as Jim Collins made the tackle. Look at this.
There's the only guy I've said that's on the All-Madden team is Hampton. He got the worst looking hands. He got a left finger. He was showing me the other night, you know, that he can't bend and has grafts and stuff in it. So if they go to the Super Bowl, he's going to have him measure that finger, get the ring for that left ugly finger, and then have it melted down and put it on his right to get a lot more gold that way.
That finger of his looks like an elbow.
Yeah, that's what these guys think about. That's how they think. They got elbows for fingers.
Buford gets it off the side of his foot. The Rams have trouble handling, and Johnson gets it out of bounds in Bear territory at about the 47. 37-yard punt, 4-yard return. 5:08 now left to play. 17-0 Bears. Giving that.
I like to do that. Those linemen, you know, get out there, snow, cold, windy, and get those shirt sleeves, you know, roll the sleeves up. Get those big arms hanging out there. They got them all pumped up, you know, big old arms on them. But let's see if you can see those fingers. Those are bad-looking hands. I mean, he bends his hand, and only a couple of things bend. I mean, some stay straight and a few bend. He said, I hate to shake hands. I keep my hands in my pockets a lot.
There have been some years of frustration for him around here, too. And he's a tremendous player.
Well, you know, he's one of those guys that's in the same group as a Howie Long.
Yep.
He's kind of a player's player, man's man, that type of guy. Can play anywhere, up and down the line, inside, outside, in. Play the run, play the pass, block a kick, you know, play the whole game.
They're loving it. Just over 5 minutes left to play. Brock goes back to throw. Going deep for Brown. Frazier right there. Good play.
You know, I still say, and we talked about it before, this 46 defense, they commit 8 guys, that you have to have guys like Leslie Frazier. Frazier can go, watch him, Ron Brown, maybe the fastest guy in the game. He just mirrors him, just runs step for step, doesn't interfere, gets good position, sees the ball, is always where he's supposed to be.
Remember that interception we saw him make against Green Bay?
The greatest play by a defensive back I've ever seen in my life.
2nd and 10, they give to Redden. Redden will have enough, I believe, for a Ram first down before Dickerson and Fensick bring him down. A pickup of 11. And they will move the sticks, I believe.
One thing, they popped that right through there between the line. You know, they thought maybe they would be able to get a little of that inside running. Of course, now I think it's too little, too late.
4.5 minutes, I was just going to say.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think the Rams are this year like the Bears were a year ago against the 49ers. And the Bears were like the 49ers were last year.
Same record. To Dickerson. Otis Wilson. They're in a hurry. A loss of 2. Even in a great year last year, the 49ers, no team has ever recorded back-to-back shutouts in playoff history. That's some accomplishment. And again, don't want to say it too many times, but we still haven't seen anybody in that Bear end zone in the 5 games we've done.
There's Buddy Ryan. He's the engineer or the architect again of this defense. And those players all love Buddy. He doesn't even call them by name, just calls them by number and nickname.
Here's Redden again. Otis Wilson and Wilber Marshall made the stop. They both had tremendous years.
You know, Buddy calls his players like Wilson's, 55 and 50 and so on. And he just tells them this 22, you do this. He said he started doing that. So when he first came to the Bears, he didn't know the player. He had a 5th defensive back named Walter Shine,
right,
who he would put in, on the nickel. And he said he forgot his name. He was called him Bashnagel. He said he'd get 3rd line and say, Bashnagel, Bashnagel. The Bashnagel, he was a receiver.
He was a wide receiver, right. Here's Brock on 3rd down. Chased by Dent and down. And the ball is loose, and the Bears have it. This is Wilber Marshall with the ball. Marshall, if it's still alive, he's in the end zone. A sack by Dent and a touchdown by Marshall. Players have scored touchdowns this year. That was Wilber Marshall. Kevin Butler for the extra point. Steve Fuller holding. Almost everything else, the extra point is perfect.
Richard Dent, he was standing up. You see him, and Tony Hunter just couldn't get out. He wasn't quick enough. He got his hands on him. Dent comes in, grabs Dieter Frank, just strips the ball right out of there. Watch him. He's outside in a stand-up position. See Hunter, 87, tries to turn out, and then Pankey tries to get out. They can't. He just strips, turns him. The ball comes flying out. Wilber Marshall picks it up, finishes it off.
What 2 playoff games Richard Dent has had. Marshall got away from Dickerson, and now he's picked up a convoy.
Richard Dent last week against the Giants played, I think, the most dominant game I've ever seen a defensive lineman play.
Marshall and Wilson and the Bear fans. There's going to be a hot time tonight, no matter what the weather is. There's Walter Payton. Been a long time coming. Brown. And a penalty marker is down, and Brown is off to the races. Cut down by Kevin Butler. That might help him make the All-Madden team, but they're going to bring everything back.
Hey, he had to get out there. He was in a foot race. The kicker was in a foot race with Ron Brown to the sideline. Kevin Butler got him. Of course, it didn't count anyway, but it looked good.
I have to believe Kevin Butler might lose that race most every time.
Yeah, but see, he's there. He's telling him how he did it. These guys hardly ever make tackles once. He said, I'm going over. I cut him off at the pass. I throw, and I just went for that knee. I took his knee out, and then he had to go. Wherever the knee goes, you have to go, he's saying. Yeah, they'll brag about that. You know, those guys can kick, make field goals, extra points, point. I was talking about that tackle they made.
So the Rams are backed up to their 10-yard line. And we have 2 minutes and 24 seconds before the real celebration starts. It's Redden on a draw play. Gooman was the other back that time. Dickerson's out.
I'll tell you, maybe one of the most underrated players on that defense is Wilber Marshall. You know, he's been all over the place.
Not to Mike Ditka.
I mean, he's the guy that has to cover the tight end man-to-man, make the plays, has the speed, makes the hits.
That's a 2-minute warning, and the Bears have it locked.
These guys can...
The unusual Bear quarterback, Jim McMahon. Nothing. Bears over the Rams. Brock to Redden again. Redden hammers outside to about the 30. Reggie Phillips on the stop. Most of the regular defenders are out of it. The game, I mean, the defense. Most of the crowd will be out of it. As I said, it's unusual.
He has a reaction for everything, doesn't he?
That's really his way of saying how happy he is.
That guy's a beaut, but I think of all the guys in the league now that I've met, we've spent time with, I think it'd be more fun coaching him than any of them.
Brock gets it outside to Bobby Duckworth. Duckworth is nailed out of bounds. Michael and Hampton and the rest getting a little rest. Ron Rivera made the stop. Stops with 1:14 left to play. Talking about the Bears going down to Champaign-Urbana to work out. Reason being they have a bubble down there, an enclosed field with artificial turf, like the Superdome.
They're starting their celebrations already. They got dances and songs, and these guys have every. You know, one thing I like about the Bears, they've had a lot of fun winning. I mean, they have records, and they have songs, and they have, you know, what do you call those things, videos? And
right, the Super Bowl shuffle.
They've involved the fans. I mean, it's a whole big thing. Everyone's taking part in this deal.
Things are not so happy on the other side of the field. This game, the NFC Championship, worth $18,000 for both teams. Dan Hampton looking on. And, of course, when they go to the Super Bowl, the winner gets $36,000. So it's not without its rewards, other than the acceptance and adoration of the fans.
I'll tell you, but more in the money, though, Pat, the big thing's that
There's
ring.
The ball again. Let's say it was dead. Mike Ditka. Clock still running with 30 seconds on the clock. Nobody has left. I mean, the place is still absolutely full.
Well, they've been waiting too long for this to leave. I mean, you don't wait all those years, all this time, and then finally get it and then leave early. They're going to stay. I bet you the players won't even want to leave the field.
That's going to be it. producer, Terry O'Neill. Senior producer, Charles H. Milton III, who has become somewhat of an executive this week. Directed by Sandy Grossman. Another good job, as always. The rest of our crew, associate producer Joan Petrano, and everybody else. We had a tremendous crew all year long. And they've really made it a joy for us, John.
Sure did. This is our last one.
Right? Before they go to New Orleans. That'll be at 4:30. Sports Sunday, 4:30 Eastern Time. 24-0, the Bears. Now let's go to Brent Busberger.
And finally, a Super Bowl for the Chicago Bears. Walter Payton hugging Virginia and Ed McCaskey, and now linebacker Otis Wilson. Inside the Bear locker room, the owners of the Chicago Bears. She, of course, is the lovely daughter of the late George Halas, the founder, who was the coach of this team the last time they won a championship. And the fridge, number 72, William Perry. A team of destiny, according to Bud Grant, before this game started. And the former Minnesota Viking coach knew something there, because today they became the first playoff team in history to record back-to-back shutouts. First it was the Giants, and now it's the Rams. And our post-game activities will continue live from Soldier Field in Chicago.
Some of you are being asked to choose a long-distance phone company. If you don't choose, someone's going to choose for you. And you know how that could make you feel. So if AT&T's clear long-distance connections and full services are important to you, send in your ballot. AT&T Long Distance, for over 100 years. When you reached out, we were there. And you can keep it that way by making the choice yourself.
When you start something good, everyone wants a piece of it. Take light beer from Miller. Now there's lots of light beers out there saying...
Hey, please excuse this little bit of former civic pride as a long-time suffering Chicagoan. But Bud Grant, you called it right. You said the Bears were a team of destiny, and they sure played like it today.
Well, they're on the crest, and they don't believe they can lose, and I don't think they believe they're going to lose down in New Orleans either. This is a team not unlike San Francisco last year. Everything going well for them.
Tony Dorsett, how did you view the game as it unfolded?
Well, I found it to be a very interesting football game. I thought the Rams would put some points on the scoreboard, but Brent, I'd like to say congratulations to Mike Dick and the Chicago Bears, and of course the class act of the National Football League, Walter Payton, for going to a Super Bowl.
All right, and Jimmy, we'll forgive you for picking the Los Angeles Rams.
McMahon over that, what was that quarterback's name from Canada?
Dieter Brock. He did not have the best of afternoon.
We said that was the biggest category, and it proved out to be it.
Well, Bud, let's take a look at some of the highlights. In the first half, there was only one touchdown in the game, and it was scored by Jim McMahon.
Well, here's, I think, shows the mobility of the quarterback, and I think this was supposed to be actually a little flip forward, but he saw the opening and followed the blockers in.
Now, Dieter Brock appeared to have something going here. Michael Young coming downfield, and Bud, was that pass interference?
Well, from our standpoint, it was. Obviously not from the vantage point on the field.
Now, here is Brock dropping back and hitting Eric Dickerson. But time ran out in the first half, and the Rams squandered a scoring opportunity with Coach John Robinson looking on. Now, Buddy Ryan predicted 3 fumbles. He was very close. Dickerson put it on the carpet twice in the game. How about the 4th down call, Bud, by Mike Ditka?
I think this was an excellent call, and they rolled out, got the first down, and then came right back with the same thing going the other way, and as John Madden said, we're in the post corner for the touchdown.
And it was Willie Gault who received that pass from McMahon, and the Bears were in complete command. And then Tony Dorsett, this is an example of how good this defense can play.
Like I said, Brent, they put a lot of immediate pressure on you. They do a lot of stunts with the people up front, the linebackers blitzing, and it paid off for them. They played a very fine game today defensively.
And Marshall takes it on into the end zone, and it's 24-0. And it seems so appropriate here in Chicago to have the snowflakes falling at the end of this particular game. But this is the kind of game you always like to coach. You should have felt right at home. No dome here or anything.
This was great, and we're excited. And again, congratulations to Chicago. You know, they've done a great job. Ditka has too. And it's only appropriate that it was snowing, and Marshall scored the final touchdown a la the Chicago Bears.
All right, Bud, let's go inside the locker room, and here's Irv Cross. Irv?
Brent, we're getting ready for the trophy presentation. Of course, the winner of the National Football Conference receives the George S. Hallis Trophy. And, of course, we have the owners of the Bears, Mr. and Mrs. McCaskey here.
Are we on?
We're on. We're on to make the presentation.
Forgive me, I'm punchy. As I understand it, this is the George Hallis Trophy. Virginia's here to present it to the owners. Virginia?
No, to the president. How heavy is that, Mike?
You have it?
First of all, I want to thank all the coaches, the Chicago Bear coaches, and the Chicago Bear players. I'd hate to think that I had to do this over in the other side of the locker room area. I'd also like to thank the Chicago Bear fans here in Soldier Field and in Chicago and everywhere for all the love and support that they've shown to us during this year and especially today. This trophy was established by the National League owners in March of 1984. And last year the 49ers won it, but there wasn't a ceremony like this. The trophy wasn't ready for presentation. So this year we have it right here in Chicago.
Well, Mrs. McCaskey, of course, Virginia McCaskey, George Hallis' daughter. Congratulations to you, but you're going to make your presentation, of course, to the president of the Chicago Bears.
Yes, I am. I just want to mention first that a lot of people have said to me this week, or this year, isn't it too bad your dad wasn't here to see this? Well, I think he's been with us the whole season, and I think he's here with us now, and he'll be with us always. And it's a special honor and privilege for me to present this trophy to Ed McCaskey, the chairman of the board, to Michael McCaskey, president of the Bears, and to our coach of the year and every year, Mike Ditka.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Mike, I'm gonna go ahead and move over to your coach, Mike Ditka, who made a lot of critical decisions. Of course, for all, congratulations to you, Mike, and the Chicago Bears for, you know, this an outstanding season and a great victory today.
Well, we did it this way all year as a team, and boy, I say we played hard, and I got to give the Rams all the credit in the world. What a good football team, and what a great, well-coached team John did. We had our work cut out. We made some breaks early and held up.
Well, one break you made for yourself was a crucial play on 4th and 6. You went for it when everybody, you know, I want to know what your thinking was on it. You made the first down and eventually score. Here's the play right here, 4th and 6, and then we ended up with a touchdown pass to Willie Gault. But
well, the only reason we went for that, Irv, is because I knew that a lot of people would question it. So we just decided to go for it.
Oh, well, it's easy to say that now that you won it, but what did go through your mind at the time?
We wouldn't have gained anything punting the football, really. You know, to punt the ball inside the 10-yard line would have been really a fluke, so we just figured that whether start them on the 20 or start them on the 35, that's all it was. So it's 15 yards gained, so we figured we'd go ahead and try to make it.
All right, Mike, congratulations to you, the Chicago Bears. And, you know, let's go back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Irv, thank you very much. And our post-game show will continue live from Soldier Field, sponsored by Miller Lite, in just a moment. Well, there's a Super Bowl for Walter Payton. Let's go inside. He's with Irv Cross.
Of course, one more step, one big step. And Walter, 11 tough years for you, Chicago. You have to be particularly pleased with the way things have gone.
I tell you, these guys, they rallied around themselves all year. They just believed in themselves, and they said, "There's no way that we're going to be defied of getting to the Super Bowl this year." Because of the loss to San Francisco last year, everybody dedicated themselves to go farther than the championship game, and this was it.
If there is a key to this football team, what is it? I mean, you have a bunch of characters here, but you seem to play darn good football.
I tell you, the key is that everybody on this team, I said earlier, they could be cast for the Wonderful the Cuckoo's Nest and get the part, because all of them are, you know, we got a bunch of crazies here, but yet and still, they all blend together and they have one common denominator, and that's to win.
Well, one of the things you've done year after year after come up with key plays, and there's a pass reception you made early in the ball game for a 19-yard gain, which kind of kept your offense going, and you got a drive going when you really needed it. We'll get it up here in a second as soon as we get the videotape going. But, again, the Ram defense, we don't have the play, but the Ram defense seemed to really put a lot of pressure on you, Walter. I mean, you have a lot of respect for them.
They're coming up. What they're doing, they play the defense where they bend and bend and they don't break. The same way that Miami and Detroit plays. What we did, we took advantage of it because they were using the deep drops in the zones, and we were hitting the backs underneath, picking up 4 and 5 yards at a pop. That keeps the sticks moving. You keep the first downs moving. You keep the drive moving.
Everybody coming into this ball game made a big deal out of the weather, you know, because you guys play in this weather all the time. Was the weather a factor or not?
Not at all. And I don't think this team would have wanted it to be a factor because we feel that anybody that we play, regardless of what the conditions are, we're able to beat them. And we were glad that the weather was fine, so they couldn't use that as an excuse.
Well, congratulations. One more big one.
New Orleans.
All right, Brent.
All right, Irv, thank you very much. And we'll continue live with our post-game show from Soldier Field right after this message from Miller Lite.
On June 8, 1984, a tornado struck Barneveld, Wisconsin. About the only thing left standing was the water tower.
After the tornado, people said this is the end of a small town. Barneveld said not this small town.
Around here, folks will always hitch right in when something gets out of hand.
Just felt we can make it, we can rebuild, we can come back, and we have.
A place where people have a sense of pride, and that's what keeps them right here. Where you count on your own, you call it your home, and Miller's the deal.
Super Bowl, and that means middle linebacker Mike Singletary. He's with Irv. Let's go to them now.
Of course, Mike, you guys have done something no one has ever done in National Football League history. 2 shutouts back-to-back in a playoff series.
Well, I tell you what, the biggest thing about the shutouts is when you have a defensive coordinator like Buddy Ryan and you've got defensive personnel like we have and an offense that controls the ball, it's tough not to happen.
Well, your big challenge today was to stop Eric Dickerson, and there are a couple of players that you guys just went head-to-head, and, of course, you won most of those battles.
Well, I hope to win most of those battles, so I should not be in there, but really the guys up front were doing a great job, and I just had the opportunity to, I was moved in position to make the tackle.
Do you recall again the play situation there and the type of defense you were in on that particular play?
We were just in short yardage, and our guys did such a great job up front that Eric Dickerson had to bounce it out. And when he bounced it out, of course, I bounced out too, and we met.
Well, congratulations, Mike.
Well, thanks a lot.
Brent.
All right, Irv, thank you very much. And, of course, there's another side of the story, and that is Los Angeles Ram coach John Robinson. The Rams had a tremendous season, but they came up short here this afternoon. And, John, what's your feelings now about the Chicago Bears in this game?
Well, I thought they played a great game, certainly. Their defense overwhelmed us. There's nothing else to say about it. I thought Jim McMahon was absolutely great. 2 games in a row now. I think he's played great football. It was not a quarterback's day out there in terms of the weather, and yet he was the dominant offensive factor for them. We did well against their running game, and then certainly, played good defense. They had 3 50-yard drives or less, but when they needed it, he made great football plays, and I don't know what to say about the defense other than it's just overwhelming.
John, there was one moment where there seemed to be confusion. What happened at the end of the first half there?
Well, we wanted to get one more play up. We would have liked to have thrown the ball on second down, come back with, stop the clock, either get the incompletion or the touchdown, hopefully. But we ran on second down and came back, and we thought we had time to throw the ball, hopefully in the end zone, and if not, take the time. I saw Dieter Brock trying to get the timeout with about 2 to 2.5 seconds, somewhere in there. The clock was at 2 when he had his hand up, but it didn't get done. That doesn't make sense to talk about whether it should have or shouldn't have. We made the error because the clock ran out, but certainly you have to congratulate the Bears for the job they did.
All right, John, and also congratulations to you and your staff. You did a fine job this year, too.
Thank you.
Quarterback Jim McMahon is standing by with Irv Cross. Back to the Bear locker room. Irv?
Well, Jim's in one piece, but I don't know, but barely. Look at this. What happened to your wrist?
I don't know. I think I fell on it wrong, and I got a little knot down here, but it shouldn't be a problem. It happened early in the game, and heck with it.
Well, early in the game, you also scampered in the end zone on a 16-yard run, and I guess you had a pass play set up. You couldn't find anybody, and in typical Jim McMahon fashion, you made something good out of a bad situation.
Well, we know they play a lot of deep zones. The linebackers drop deep, and they gave me an alley. I just took off, and Dennis Gentry here makes a hell of a block to let me in the end zone.
Yeah, it was a heck of a block, Jim. Sure was. You know, next week, everybody talked about the weather influencing this ball game. You guys play in this kind of weather all the time. Did you feel that the weather was a factor at all?
Well, I was very happy to see the clouds roll in early in the ball game. You know, we thought it was going to be high 40s today, and the clouds started coming in, started snowing, and we knew it was our day. And the defense just played superb. I tell you, if they play like that in the Super Bowl, we won't lose.
Get this wrist healthily, will you? Congratulations.
All right, thanks.
Brett.
All right, Irv, thank you. And we'll continue live from Soldier Field with our NFL Today postgame show sponsored by the football team. But what happened around Chicago on the streets while the game was going on in Soldier Field? Let's take a look and show you part of the activity now, the street scenes of Chicago. All over, the city was decked out for this afternoon's game. But while it was in progress, fashionable Michigan Avenue, usually a boulevard of strollers, was all but deserted. Now, one Chicagoan along Lakeshore Drive was trying to make a buck, but he was still staying very close to the game with his transistor radio. Meanwhile, this fan in Marshall Fields obviously can't get enough of his favorite football team. But he didn't have much company because on this day, there weren't many shoppers in the stores along the city's magnificent mile where all those fashionable shops are. One place that was crowded, this favorite watering hole of Bear fans, some of whom were dressed like their hero. The other big attraction in Chicago was supposed to be the boat show in McCormick Place. But when you're competing with the Bears, it's no contest. And meanwhile, even the fish at the aquarium got to see the game. But of course, their minds are on the Dolphins. Even art lovers skipped going to the museum because in Chicago today, the whole show is in the park that George Halas remodeled. The most bizarre viewers were out on Lake Michigan doing a little ice fishing like Bud Grant would love to do, but they had their portable television set. Let's go upstairs now to Pat Summerall and John Madden. Pat?
Okay, Brent. John and I were just talking. Really, when you get back and look at the statistical story and all that sort of thing, you'll see what a great job the defense did. But the key to the points on the scoreboard was McMahon's mobility.
That's what I think. I think Jim McMahon, you know, and John Robinson said how surprised he was or how well McMahon did, but his running, not only running with the ball as we see here. Remember the first touchdown? McMahon comes back. Anytime that he finds a gap, you see, he sees it right there. He says, okay, I'm going. Gentry, number 29, says, okay, follow me. I'll block this guy. You're in for a touchdown. Now that run, but not only that type of running, but running and throwing the ball. Let's watch the big play on 4th down. Now, this was a big thing. Walter Payton comes in motion across here. He's going to go down. McMahon takes the ball, rolls out to his right, hits Walter right here on 4th down for the first down. Watch him. He comes out here. There goes Payton. He goes out in motion, becomes the outside man. Now McMahon is going to sprint out. He gets outside the containment. Now he has the option where he could have run for the first down or throw it to Payton. He picks out Walter Payton and gets the first down. So he was really the threat with that type of run. And then, of course, the touchdown now, he rolled right now. This time he's rolling left. He finds Willie Gault in the end zone.
And what a great pass that was. Finished off by quite a celebration by Willie Gault. Jim McMahon. And as someone said in the locker room a minute ago, if they play like they did today, defensively and offensively, no matter who they play in the Super Bowl, it's going to be tough to beat them. Now let's go back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Pat, thank you. Jimmy, they're about ready to start in the Orange Bowl. Miami or New England?
It's Miami, Brent, because I think New England played their game against those Raiders last week.
All right, well, I know that Bud and Tony helped live the Super Bowl shuffle that is going on here in Chicago. We'd like to show you an updated version.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl show.
I'm the punky QB known as McMahon. When I hit the turf, I've got no plan. I just throw my body all over the field. I can't dance, but I can throw the field. I motivate the cats, I like to tease. I play so cool, I aim to please. That's why you all got here on the double.
I wouldn't say I was a student of the game, no.
I'm mama's boy, Otis, wanna be kind. The ladies are looking for my body and my mind. I'm back on the floor as I can be, but ain't no something gonna get past me. Some guys are jealous of my style and class. That's why some end up on that. I didn't come here looking for trouble. I'm just getting down to the Super Bowl show. We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good. Blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone.
If they ever convert the football into a hamburger or Coke, we'll beat anybody.
Well, they call me Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like making more man. We had to go since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ.
You're looking at the fresh, I'm the rookie. I may be lost, but I'm no dumb cookie. You see me hit.
Hurry in motion, offense, players right there.
I can dance, you will see. The others, they all learn from me.
I named him Biscuit because when he showed up here, he was just a biscuit away from 350.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle. We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone.
You win and you have fun and you shuffle off to New Orleans and you play in a Super Bowl. That's the way it should be. I'd like to thank Bud Grant, Tony Dorsett for being with us here this afternoon. We've had a great time. We hope you've enjoyed it too. This wraps up our coverage of the National Football League on CBS. I'm Brent Musburger. So long, everybody.